Welcome to the Davey Nation. This is my desk tour. It's got a lot of unique features, so let's take a closer look. My setup has been designed with a few things in mind. I want all of my desk real estate available to me, not taken up by stands or speakers, and I also wanted to have space for upgrades. With that in mind, let's talk about the desk. I got inspiration for the design from Star Wars, for the lighting on the sides and back. You know, those long circle wall light thingies on Star Destroyers? Yeah, those. But I also wanted the desk to be able to stand alone in the room, which meant I needed to somehow get the cables, stands, and audio to the user from the computer without a whole nest of cables. This is where I decided on the shell approach. The shell I designed slips over the base of the items bought from Ikea, which is a countertop, pick your flavor. Mine was the Ekaban, a cheap one, and everyone will recognize the drawers from Ikea, the Alex drawers. So the drawers are what I attach the outer shell to, which is what gives it weight, while the shell is just cut plywood with some acrylic glued to it, letting the light come through and space to route cables. Now the base wood, made out of 4x4s, was mounted in an L shape, and holes were drilled in the top for a steel tube to hold the monitors. I'm not totally sure how much this can hold, but it's been holding 3 monitors for years now, and it's had no issues so far. So I'll take that as a win. This brings us just under the monitors to peripherals and speakers. For the speakers, I won't dwell too long because I have a whole video for what these speakers were initially made for already on the channel. So click on the link in the description or the card and you can go check that out if that's what you're looking for. But I have repurposed these from my TV speakers to my PC main speakers, which honestly, it looks great. It's the best stereo imagery, comes from about 2.5 feet away, which is generally where I sit. So I'm pleased with how they work in this application. As for driving the speakers, they're powered and really only need input from my audio interface. My audio interface is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. It's a USB-C audio interface that provides a monitor out and headphone jack that gives me pretty much all the options I need for gaming, mixing audio for video, and talking, doing calls, stuff like Discord, and also voiceovers like I'm doing right now. The MXL 770 cardioid condenser microphone is what I'm using right now for the voiceovers and all the other voice needs I have at the moment, along with the Sony WH-1000XM4 wireless noise canceling headphones. Using their line-in feature from the Focusrite Scarlett provides a great audio recording option. Plus, they are wireless headphones that are kings of travel as well. I recommend getting them open box from Amazon to get a large discount. For under $250, it's pretty hard to find something better. Well, I mean, that's really all I'm using for my audio. For my other peripherals we have, yes, my keyboard is a Corsair K95. I found it when my brother moved out and loved the volume rocker and the playback buttons, so that's what I've been using for a while now. I'm not too picky when it comes to keyboards. I've gone through a few along with some other peripherals not many people talk about, so let me know if you'd like to see an add-on video to this one of the weird extras sitting in my drawers that I have that I use occasionally. But back to the current daily drivers. My mouse is a SteelSeries Rival 650 Quantum wireless gaming mouse. I use it for the 3 buttons on the side, and honestly, I got it for under $50, and I'm pretty much ready for a new one. No issues with the mouse other than the rubber coming off, probably due to sweaty nerd hands, but wireless is really a no-go for me. I really just leave it plugged in, so stay tuned for the new mouse update. This one's seen better days. Under that, I have the mouse pad, and the name from the manufacturer is SteelSeries QCK Gaming Surface XL RGB Prism cloth optimized for gaming sensors. Yeah, it's great, but in my opinion, these things need to be washed every once in a while at least. Remember, sweaty nerd hands, which I didn't realize when I got it, so I'll be swapping this out at some point for a new one. The lights are cool, and that's pretty much it. It needs to be washed. But that's mainly everything I use to interact with my computer on a daily basis. What I use to view my machine is a whole nother question though. My main monitor is a Dell UltraSharp 38 curved with a USB-C hub. And for you monitor nerds, a U3821DW. Oh yeah, that's the monitor. This monitor gets it done for video editing and watching everything back. It's got great colors and the upstream ports are super handy. As for gaming, it's not that great, locked at 60 FPS FPS for gaming, but slower paced games are fine, and anything that puts you in PvP mode is pretty much toast. As for the flanking monitors, I call them fangs. They are just some throwaway monitors from old builds or work monitors that have been sitting around for a while. I use them like a rented truck. Leave them on, put whatever you want on them for hours, and don't really care when they go bad and need to be replaced. These monitors are just for reference. If I'm editing, they house my files and extra buttons I need, but don't really want cluttering my main display. Almost 3 feet of timeline from my main display is awesome. Honestly, having them in portrait mode lets me find files and read documents easier thanks to the layout. I find myself using them for certain things more often than I normally would. As for the gaming I do, it's mainly story-based games and chatting on Discord, so these work great too. I'm a Destiny fan, so Dim, Destiny Item Manager, and Discord live on the flanking fangs during off hours. I spend quite a lot of time here, I do. So let's talk about the chair before we get into the rest of the PC and wiring goodness. Take it away, Italian Davey. Looks like Italian voice Davey couldn't make it, and we get the Boston one instead. So here we have an affordable mesh chair from Amazon Basics. Now this ain't one of those chairs you have to save up blood money for. Oh no, not this one, little cousin. It's an affordable beauty for you and me, the working Joe, slinging mats for a living. Oh god, yeah. It's a cheap chair, based on the replacement rate, one that I can afford, because it's plenty comfortable and under $150. So you could save those extra dollars for more powerful computer parts. This is more important, in my opinion, because butts can be replaced, but blazing fast rendering speeds don't come around that often. Speaking of those rendering times, let's finally talk about power, cablings, and the stuff you really want to talk about, machines. Running to my desk and peripherals is this large bundle of cables that bring over 3 DisplayPort cables using connectors and also USB 3 extenders to my upstream USB-C ports on the main monitor. I know, it's not great. I'd like to get these replaced with USB and DisplayPort optical cables, but I haven't made the upgrade to it yet, so the fancy fiber cables will have to wait. But this is all sheathed in black cable sheathing and carries everything I need to my desk. Moving close to where my PC is, I also have one receptacle run back to my main breaker box just for my PC and monitors. And for under $50, having a dedicated socket and Ethernet run to a plate is awesome. Full speeds and full breakers worth of power have made my rig so much more stable over the years. This is also where I host my NAS, the network attached storage from Synology. This is great for backups and also dial-in storage solution for my house. I store an asset repository for my YouTube channel and backups for my girlfriend's architecture business. All of this is networked together through a switch, run back to the router, and over to my rig. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. My rig. Oh, but a disclaimer first. I made my PC about 4 years ago and need more RAM, more SSD storage, and a new graphics card. My rig consists of an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X 8-core processor with a base speed of 4 GHz, which is plenty enough CPU speed. My memory, however, is not that great. I have 16 gigs of RAM and could use quite a bit more. As for my GPU, I have a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti from EVGA that has been serving me well for a few years now. This machine does everything that I need it to do well for now, but definitely could use some upgrades, so subscribe for when I do that. I'll take you through the whole thing. This is pretty much everything I use to do work and play games on a daily basis, but I haven't really talked about the styling of the rest of the space. Style time. My space is decorated with lots of fake plants due to being crammed into the basement with zero access to natural sunlight. You don't notice it until it's gone, but with my last setup at my old apartment, I had a window in front of me and plants growing all around my desk. And when I was sent to the basement, I started to miss natural sunlight and plants, so I grabbed some fake ones from Amazon, and they really do brighten up the place. I also have a turf wall on the back of my shelving for my PC, which I thought was pretty cool too. Video on how I made that down in the description. As for the rest of my setup, I pretty much just have a big steel tube mounted in the back with 3 VESA type arms connected to it that I got for mounting shop TVs to a pole in like a auto body garage. These work well because the monitor I have that is the 38-inch is pretty heavy, so I needed something that would hold up pretty much a TV. Between that, the plants, and some lights, that pretty much sums up my entire setup. So yeah, this is my current setup, and I very much like the amount of screen real estate and customizability I get when using it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, stick around because we're going to be doing a lot more with old technology, some new technology, and helping everyone reuse or upgrade to something better. Check out one of these other technology videos I've made recently. And that's all I got for you today. Davey out.